This is the go, no-go decision map. These are the simple steps that help our clients understand what they need to consider before starting a project. The participant meets with the grant assistant and discusses the project and desired outcomes. They then draft a document describing at a high level what will be done and when it will be completed. Memory is notoriously unreliable. Documenting the outcomes avoids any later confusion or misunderstanding. The grant assistant then reviews the document with the participant, and together they determine if it is clear and matches the RFQ, that is, request for quote, with the customer. The participant then reviews the completed document with the customer, and they agree on the expectations. This is to avoid scope creep and to assure customer satisfaction and avoid any misunderstandings. If the participant and the customer cannot agree, the job should not go forward. All business is not good business, and it's best to identify potential problems before investing time or money in a project that will not be profitable. Once the decision to go is made, the grant assistant and the participant review the process for completing the project. They begin by identifying the due date to achieve the goal. This reflects the contractual agreement at which date and time the work is to be completed. The grant assistant helps the participant assess any issues that might impact this date. In the same meeting, they identify the tasks required to accomplish the goal. The objective is to help the client clearly understand each step of the process they employ, how long the steps take, and how they will know what they assume is accurate. They will think through the alignment of the tasks and the timeline and the resources needed to complete each task. At this point, a decision has to be made. Do they have the resources to start the project? This is going to be an iterative process. The grant assistant helps the participant understand when they have enough resources to start and when to add resources to accomplish tasks according to the timeline. If they do not have the needed resources, and these can include human resources, people to start the work, physical resources, the materials and equipment, financial resources, the funds to manage cash flow, or even intellectual resources, architectural designs, workshop plans, those sorts of things. They need to map out when they can be acquired and when the project can actually start and keep moving smoothly. Having to start and stop a project because the resources aren't available can cause serious complications. People you need to do the work may not be available. Delays may create issues with the timeline, etc. Ideally, the grant assistant is helping the participant understand how to be thinking through these issues themselves during and between meetings. The status check should be a daily process. The participant is coached to assess each day and assess if they are on plan or if they need to make an adjustment to get back on schedule. If the participant is seeing a problem on the horizon, this is when they notify the grant assistant to work through the solutions necessary. Together they determine if they are still on plan. If not, they work out the adjustments. If yes, they proceed. This is the regularly scheduled grant assistant meeting after the go, no-go decision. There should be multiple of these meetings during the process of completing the project. This will also include the monitoring of key performance indicators, KPIs, to help the participants standardize and improve their operational processes. So that's what the process map would look like. It can be a nice visual guide for the grant assistant. Here's how this can align with the action plan tool currently being used. This names the company and the project being discussed. In this case, it's identified by the date. The coaching process starts using 10-10-22, but any other naming convention can be used. In the regular meeting with the coach, this is what's being reviewed and discussed. Click the box to reveal the instructions. In the regular meeting with the coach, this is also what's being reviewed and discussed. Click the box to reveal these instructions. The coach works with the client to assure the time allocated is realistic. The coach helps the client identify all tasks and what resources are available to start each stage of production. You may help the client understand how to start with available resources and work to make sure resources are available at the appropriate time. Resources fall into 4 categories: intellectual, physical, human, and financial. The coach helps the client understand how each task and their associated resources become available. The coach has worked with the client and walked through the numbers. Together, they make sure all costs have been accounted for and methods to stay under budget are in place. In the regular meeting with the coach, this is what's being reviewed and discussed. Click the box to reveal the instructions. The client will note any changes to plan and how to adapt. The coach will review and discuss at each session. If emergency funds or any other assistance is needed to stay on plan, the client should know to reach out immediately to the coach. The grant assistant drafts an end of project report to document what happened, what we learned, and how we can improve the program from what we learned. So that's the process I've drafted to this point. Please share any thoughts on how it can be improved or corrected. I'm sorry for the delay. I put this together on Friday, but then thought it too complicated to send out without explanation. So I'd share it on Monday. But my wife reminded me that that was Columbus Day and she had plans. I've learned the way you stay married for 47 years is to say yes, dear, a lot. Then Tuesday was crazy. So I recorded it to share and let you all review while I try to wrap up our business plan competition before I head out of town. Call me with any questions and or thoughts. I can be reached at 574-360-2638. Thank you.